Hello everybody and welcome to the Forgotten Clash Raijin gameplay. Today I'm going to be talking about mages in general. Generally there are healer mages, the Hell, Ra, Aphrodite, etc. Then you have the burst mages, Scylla, probably as well Raijin. And then you have the more warrior focused mages, which are Hades and Hell. Now you will notice there was some overlap with Hell being in two classes. This is because Hell has a heal, but she doesn't have a very strong heal, and generally she is meant to be more aggressive, melee range. So I generally build her as a warrior mage with a couple bits of defense items. I found that to be the most successful way of playing her instead of just full glass cannon. Mages like Cecilia and Raijin work really well full glass cannon. And I don't feel their kits favour them to be more frontline defensive compared to say something like Hades or Hell. My favourite mage, if you are curious, is Yanis, mainly for the hypermobility I do have in Diamond. He's ridiculously hard to play though. What I mean that is, he's ridiculously hard to play well. Yanis is one of those mages where you need to hit most of your abilities and understand when to be mobile, when to use certain things. You can't get away with certain degrees of nonsense, and I just managed to get away. You can see here I'm using Raijin's ult. I'm trying to pull them into the tower, and again, almost, and I get chased out. Now, when it comes to mages, I would say the mage class has a lot of variety in it. There's a lot of different ones. They're all good in their own right, in different ways. You shouldn't be building mages similar. Mages which do not scale well, you should be building more defensive items on, and mages that do scale or have high base damage, then you want to be building as many aggressive items as you can. The build I'm using here is a very greedy build, a very risky build. I believe it is the full burst build. It consists of Dumor, Book of 4. It basically means I stack as much magical damage as I can. Dumor is amazing on most mages that need power. It's not very good on characters like Hell, because if you're at the front line being a bit too aggressive, then you can die because you don't have any escape from Hell. Now, I've seen a lot of people say that the mage class is a bit too good, so same with the hunters. I would agree with you. I think this is more due to the items, if I'm honest with you. Soulstone / Blue Pot is a very good start on later game mages. And it's a very good start on mages that don't have a very good clear. I generally favour mages that have some sort of escape. That's just me, because I really don't like getting caught off guard. Plus I don't always make the best plays in the world. When it comes to mages, they are incredibly powerful, especially in team fights. They can pretty much burst people down off the hunter's got 1 or 2 hits off of them. You can see how I'm trying to wait for the Sun Wukong to use his ult, and then I'm going to basically taunt them in to get rid of it, and then there we go. Pretty much weaken them down and pretty much almost killed 2 people. Now, if you're curious why I did actually pick up Shell, it was because of that guy's ult. Shell is a great counter to Sean Wee's ult. And the reason why I picked it up, because I didn't think my teammates would pick it up, and I was completely correct. When it comes to builds of mages, you generally want to avoid cookie cutter builds the same with every other class, and basically try and situate your builds around. There are some mages which you can do cookie cutter, but for a build like this, you basically need to make sure you don't die. Otherwise, this build, you're not going to get the full potential out of it. Now, you can build defensive items on mages, and you do trade damage, but it probably is worth it in certain cases. I did mention earlier defensive items on Hell, on Hades. Those are two mages which I will consider defensive items, and I think they are pretty much core to them. Mainly due to how close these mages get people to use their abilities. See how I do get aggressed on them, well, have an escape. That was a case where if I had any other mage and I pushed up a bit too far. Now, one of the biggest mistakes I have made in the past, and still do make when it comes to mages and in this game in general, is the fact that I will not use my minimap at all. I've tried to get out of that habit. I'm not going to be lying. I tried to condition myself to look more at the minimap, because if I had, then I would have known they were probably going to be coming in that direction. And I wouldn't have took so much poke. So, when it comes to mages, I generally like most of them apart from a couple. Even the harder to use mages I do enjoy playing. Cecilia is one of those harder to play mages, because if you can hit her abilities, she is amazing. If not, then you're going to be a sitting duck, because she is squishy as hell. She is a glass cannon. One of the things I will say about Raijin's ult is the fact that you can pull people in, and you can also do a ridiculous amount of damage depending on which drum you beat. You can pull people in or fear them. Two things I don't see most Raijin players do is abuse the hell out of that ult, because that ult is just amazing. You've got so much burst on it, so much crowd control. It's such a good ult. It really is. You can as well hit the entire team if you're very lucky. So, some more general thoughts on Clash. Clash is one of those game modes which I do and I don't like, because it can be very snowbally. As you can see here, we are pretty much snowballing at the moment. And as a result, it can be very one-sided. But it can be a very good fun tug of war. However, I have found that sometimes it will just snowball and there's literally nothing you can do, even if you're getting as many kills as you can. Talking some more about the mage class in general, I do plan on getting another diamond mage at some point, but first of all I'm working on doing a guardian first, because why not? You see some Wukong use his ult, and I'm pretty sure the Onwee is going to use his ult, and well, I'm going to get out of it. I did have a shell there, but I decided not to pop it. Instead I decided to just do that and try and get as much damage as I could off, try and escape most of it. Zhonghui is one of those warrior mages because of his ult and how close he has to get to people. Generally you want to build him with health and a couple of tank items, as well as some power. I do like the variety that mages do offer in this game compared to, say, a lot of guardians, which are mainly very CC focused, very defensive, and they don't have much else in their kit. There are a couple that do, Fafnir being a recent example, who wasn't released when I was making this video, or recording it. Fafnir is one of those mages, one of those guardians which has a buff, a disarm, which is actually pretty rare. He can have an escape. He has so much utility. He is an aggressive guardian though, and he has also a good team fight. Raijin also has a good team fight as well. He's not selfish. He can taunt people in. He can mez them with his jump as well, which is really, really good. So yeah, I don't know why I haven't actually made any videos on mages, because I actually really quite like the mage class. You know, there's Zhonghui's ult. Pretty sure his ult. You see here some Wukong is in our tower. No minions, he is in trouble. And I'm just going to bring him back in. Again, fantastic ult. So, I'm not actually sure why I was going to make this video. It's currently a Sunday. I just thought I'd talk about mages, because I've just been talking about supports a lot recently. People are curious if I enjoy the support class. I do. It's just, I find myself forced to play it. I do like playing hunters and mages because of just how much burst damage you can bring and just how much you can bring to the table for healing and anything else. Here's the John Quee. Oh! If you who are curious, this gameplay, I would say I've gotten better as a player since then. I should have actually used the shell to negate some of the damage on my team, but I didn't because, well, I bought stealth for selfish reasons. This is something else I've also started to use more, is the voice command system, or whatever it's called in game, because it's extremely useful. I'm backing off, I'm going to be doing this, back off, retreat, etc. Very useful commands, very, very good to learn where they all are on your controller. Since this gameplay, as I said earlier, well, a second ago, I would say I've gotten a lot better as a player. You can see here I'm playing somewhat passive. This is normally how you want to play mages, because you are not a tank. You are very, very squishy. However, you can burst down pretty much anyone. And also as well, I don't want to lose my Doom stacks. Probably a bad mentality to have, but we don't have any tanks or anyone that is tanking much. I think Chuck tries to do it this game. Not too sure. It's an old gameplay. Apologies. So, there you go. So, final thoughts. Mages are amazing. You should probably learn to play as many different archetypes as you can. Don't get stuck into cookie cutter builds when it comes to mages. Try and work out which mages are more suited to certain builds. Which mages are warrior mages, which mages aren't, which mages are healers, etc. I will say this though, certain healer mages are better than others because they bring more to the table and team. When it comes to ranked, there are certain mages I would always bring to the table and certain mages I will not. You generally want to have communication up, just like supports. Communication is very, very key in Smite, and a lot of people don't do it. There is a language barrier to where I live, so I've started to use the in-game communication system a lot more because it's very, very useful. Now, I was trying to hit the Titan as well as my opponents, but I sort of missed. But anyway, we won. And the obligatory last spam, because people do that still. I've started to get out of the habit. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a lovely Sunday. Sorry if this was a bit of a ramble. Now, if you're curious about the build I was going with, the final item was going to be Spirit of Desolation. One of the things you may have noticed I was doing a couple times, I was opening up the scoreboard. Generally, I've started to do this because it's very, very useful finding out what people are building, what your team is building, and counter building against them. If you're a mage, for example, and someone has built Warlock Sash and they're the other mage, then you want to be building Soul Reaver and focusing on them because, well, you're going to be doing more damage to them. And Soul Reaver is amazing in cases where people have a lot of health. So, that's a small useful tip for you, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and do anything else. And that's a wrap.